Hey there, this is Katherine from Katherine Cartwright Crafts. Welcome to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. There's so much great content over here you do not want to miss. So let's get started. I'm sharing some stamps from Honeybee Stamps. And the first one I wanted to show you is Hug in a Mug. It's this adorable set all about latte, coffee, hot chocolate, a cup of cheer for any of your drinks that you want to make. And then there's a set of coordinating dies that you can purchase as well that will cut out a lot of these phrases. And then there are also these dies that cut into the paper and leave behind the either snowflake or a tree or a heart, just very, very cute at the top of your mug. There is a larger coordinating set called Mug and Kisses that has 2 mugs in it, and then every little element you could need to decorate your mug. So lots of cute dies in that one. There are some vintage holiday gem stickers. These have warm colors, cool colors, neutrals. They have everything covered in that you could need. And then this is a stencil crystal kaleidoscope that I'm going to use for my background that is beautiful. So let's get started. I've cut a piece of paper from Bristol cardstock. I use the smooth to blend with. I'm using Broken China Distress Oxide, and I'm just using my brush to blend this out. I'm putting it a little heavier on the middle of the card, and then I'm kind of fading it out to keep that kind of the focal point in the middle for my mugs that I'm going to use. But just a quick and easy blend. You can see it turns out so pretty. I've cut a couple of the mugs. I love that you have the right side and the left side mugs in this set, so you can put 2 together, or you can just do 1 based on how you're creating your card and where you want to put your other elements. So I love the flexibility of that. I used some pearl cardstock, some green pearl cardstock for that I had in my stash, so it has a little bit of shimmer in it. And now I'm going to come back and cut in these images that I've been talking about earlier. So this one has the tree in it, you can see that pops out, and then the snowflake. So I'm going to take my pokey tool and poke out the little pieces that are left, including that snowflake. They come right out, and then I will layer these onto my card. But I want to fill them back in first, and I'm going to first begin with cutting 2 of those ovals that's included in that set. If I put this mug onto my background, you can see you can't see much on the black. I think the same would occur with the background that I stenciled. So I'm going to add this white piece on the back so you can see the images. And I'm going to use my fine tip glue and add the other one onto it. And then I have also run that same die, both of them, through my machine in some different colors, and I'm going to layer those shapes back into the top. So that tree, I'm going to add that blue tree on top, and then I will add that beautiful purple snowflake into the other mug, just to add a little bit of interest. You could stamp this, of course. You could cut it from a different cardstock and then stamp the same images if you wanted to stamp, if you didn't have the dies or if you didn't want to work with those on top. But I wanted to add those into my project. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of diamond stickle glitter glue. I decided to leave the edges white to really set off the tree and the snowflake, but I wanted to add a little glitter. I am a glitter girl, and anytime I can add glitter, I love to do that, and especially using Stickles because it's very easy to add in and it dries beautifully. Diamond is my favorite stickle glue out of all of them. I have a lot, but that is always the number one. If I only had one to choose, it would be that one. Okay, so I have also cut from some pearl paper a heart and a snowflake, and I'm going to add these to the front of my mug so you have some elements in that Mug and Kisses die set to add and to your card and to your mug. So I'm going to finish that off, add a little bit of a block to make sure that I get a good adhesion on there. And now it is time to start stamping. So I'm going to use my stamp positioner to add my sentiments. I've cut a thinner strip and then a larger strip. I'm going to die cut one of the sentiments. The other one I'm just going to, that let's get together for. It's just going to be stamped. And then the other one, there's this tiny little A, so cute, and it has its own die. And then hug and a mug. So I'm going to use some embossing ink to stamp this. And then I'm going to heat emboss with some white embossing powder, making sure that I've got my words down well so the powder will stick well. And then I'm going to take this over and add my powder and heat it up with my heat tool. And I'm just going to add this white on here. I thought that would be a nice contrast against that blue, and I really wanted it to stand out. So I'm making sure I've got all of my powder in place. And then I will warm up my heat tool and we will watch, as I say, the magic happen. I love to emboss. It's probably my favorite technique of all, as I've been stamping for a long time, but I always come back to embossing. There's just nothing like it. It's just my favorite technique. And I'm going to finish these off. You can see that it turns into that beautiful white. And I'm going to die cut, add my little tiny die for the A, getting it positioned just right. I will tape this down because it's a little small and I want to make sure it doesn't shift on me. And then I'll also do the same thing for the hug in a mug. I love that you get to cut out these sentiments. It looks really, really great and adds some interest to your card. So again, I'm going to lay this around and then I will add a little piece of tape and run it through my machine. And look at that, these cute, cute phrases. Love it, love it. Okay, so now it's time to work on putting the card together. So here's that stencil background. I've got some more of that similar color pearl cardstock in my stash that I'm using up. I'm going to add the Let's Get Together on the top left and just glue that down, making sure that it's straight. And then I will glue this panel down to my pearl cardstock, leaving just a little bit of a border to kind of tie those colors together. And then I will bring in some foam strips. I'm going to pop up my mugs now, and I'm going to trim it down into smaller pieces. I love having those strips because you can make them whatever you want to. And then I'm going to add one of my mugs and I'll repeat the process on the other. And I'm just going to kind of have them sort of clinking together on my card. And I think it's a nice contrast against that stenciled background, but it doesn't cover up too much of the background, so you still get to see those beautiful snowflakes. Okay, we're going to layer the second one on there. And again, like I said, I love having the ability to have two mugs because you have a lot of flexibility with that. I'm going to glue down my sentiments, and then I also cut a spoon from some cardstock, kind of a silvery pearl as well, keeping those elements together. And I will add that little tiny A, Let's Get Together for a hug in a mug. I love that you can build all the different sentiments that you want to. And then I will glue down my spoon that's so cute for your hot cocoa or your tea, whatever you want it to be, your latte. Lots of fun to be had with this set. And then I'll finish it off by gluing it down to that darker blue panel that coordinates with that Let's Get Together and a hug and a mug. And I have to finish it off with some gems. I'm going to take a moment here to decide. There's so many on here. There's such a great quantity, and I particularly love the size. I think it's great for your cards. Not too big, not too little, but just adds a lot of beauty to finish it off. I'm going to use that darker blue one. And then initially I choose the pink one But I changed my mind because I decided that I didn't have any other pink, and it just kind of, your eye just went to the snowflake, and I didn't want that to be the case. So I came back and picked a blue that was more complementary with the heart and the other snowflake, and it blended a little bit better together. So that's the card. There it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, be sure to subscribe to ScrapbookPal. Lots of great content over here. And I hope you'll come back soon and have a great day. Until the next video, be well.